5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for
a Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show. It is a bumper edition this week. We have 5 products. Now, last week was a bit disappointing. There were a lot of terrible tricks. 3 tricks that I gave 0% to, but this week we're expecting a little bit more. There's some incredible magic this week, isn't there?
Yeah.
Including a new app, which is just super awesome. We're going to be talking about all of it. 5 tricks we're looking at this week. Every single one of them we're going to perform, and we're going to start off with a new trick by Saturn Magic and Mark Traversoni. Let's get into the first trick. Okay, so the first trick we are going to be looking at is Back in Time by Saturn Magic and Mark Traversoni. Saturn Magic have been announcing various different Blackpool Magic tricks that are going to be coming out of the Blackpool Magic Convention. And I think this is going to be one of their big tricks. It is a version of Paul Harris's Solid Deception. It's a version of like an Omnideck style thing where instead of the cards turning into a solid block, or instead of the card turning into a glass block, they turn into pieces of wood. The cards turn into wooden pieces of wood, which is a really nice idea. It reminds me a little bit of that trick that came out a little while ago by Hansen Chen, where you penetrate a card through the deck, and then you take the deck back in time until it's a solid block. I'm going to do a performance of it. First of all, my performance is going to be very different to how Mark Traversoni does it. And just the reason is, and I'll talk about how Mark does it in a minute, but I do Solid Deception. It's something that I've done for years. So I'm going to kind of do my handling of how I would normally do Solid Deception. So I'm going to perform that because Mark, one of the big differences, and we'll talk about this in a second, but Mark likes having the deck change in the spectator's hand, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually prefer more of a visual change. So you'll see that in a second when I do the performance, but we'll talk about all the differences, we'll talk about what we think about it, and we'll talk about absolutely everything. So first of all, let's have a performance of the Back in Time deck. Okay, Ryland, one of your favourite TV shows is Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yes.
So do you think it's possible to travel backwards and forwards in time?
I think so.
I'm going to prove to you that you can travel backwards and forwards in time using a deck of cards.
Okay.
Okay, specifically, we'll use the card on top of the deck, the 8 of Hearts, okay?
Yeah.
And you'll see why in a minute. Now, what I want you to do is take this pen, and in big letters, I want you to write your name on the face of the card. Nice big letters.
Well, this is a thick one.
Perfect. And then put the pen over there. Now, the reason I got you to write your name on there is it makes that card unique. Even if there's a million cards in the deck, this is the only 8 of Hearts that you've wrote your name on, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me explain how time travel works. I'm going to pop the card down in the middle of the deck so it goes about halfway down, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, all I have to do is snap my fingers, and when I do, the deck of cards goes back in time 10 seconds. And you see, 10 seconds ago, the card was on top of the deck. Now, you might have missed that. Most people do. Would you like me to do that again for you?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to watch very carefully and don't blink, because if you blink, you'll miss it. I'm going to take the 8 of Hearts. Again, pop it about halfway down. Would you say that's about 20 cards down, something like that?
Yeah.
All I have to do is snap my fingers, and it goes back in time 10 seconds to when the card was on top of the deck. Now, when I do this to people, some people say, Craig, because that's my name, Craig. They say, Craig, you're using sleight of hand. It's not really coming to the top of the deck. And it is, and I'll prove it to you. I'll put it face up in the middle. So you can see it going face up in the middle, right?
Yeah.
But if I just cover the deck, wait a couple of seconds, we can go back in time to when that 8 was right there on top of the deck. So weird, right? And I can do it over and over again. I mean, that you know, this is when you see magicians taking a card, putting it in the middle of the deck, snapping their fingers, and the card comes to the top. They're just using time travel. It's not magic. I can even have it go back in time 20 seconds. Would you like to see that?
Yeah.
Look, it starts off on top of the deck. I put it into my pocket up here, yeah? And all I have to do is snap my fingers. Now, then it goes back in time 20 seconds to before it was in the pocket and when it was right here on top of the deck. Now, I could do this over and over again, but I'm going to see if I can go a little bit further. I'm going to put the card down in the middle, yeah? I'm going to try and get this deck of cards to go back in time 100 years. I'm going to have it go back in time to before, back in time to before it was printed, before the cards are printed. Back in time before you signed a card, before the cards are printed. Back in time before there were even cards. Back in time before there were even paper. Back in time to when the entire deck was nothing more than wood. And if I just rub like this, you can see that entire deck of cards right now, you can have a look at that. The entire deck has turned into wood, except for one card. I left one card that didn't go back in time. And the one card that I left that didn't go back in time was your Eight of Hearts. So, first of all, that was a performance of the Back in Time deck. And I do plan on doing this. I think this is a really good idea. I do plan on doing this. And that is how I plan on doing it. Now, what you get is you get these wooden cards that are very well made, aren't they? They've been kind of laser etched into wood. Now, each one of them is thicker than a normal playing card. Although it looks like a full deck of cards, there's probably only a third of the deck here because of how thick the cards are. Not that anybody would care about that. You've just changed the entire deck into wooden blocks. But each one is more than the thickness of a playing card.
We can just go ace and 2.
Yeah, we can, yeah.
There's a 3 up there.
And work out what you actually get. That's a good idea. Now, you also get a couple of cards with this. And you supply... So, you get a couple of cards with this. You get... what do you get? So, you get these 2 cards. And the cards that you get are actually specially treated to make a double lift almost self-working. Because in Mark's routine, there's a couple of moments where you do a double lift. They've been treated with a plastic type material that makes that double lift almost instantaneous. Now, the principle behind this is that when you put a couple of cover cards on top of this deck, it looks like a normal deck of cards from the side and from the front.
Just not underneath.
Just not underneath, right? But it looks or if you put a card there, it looks like a normal deck of cards completely.
Oh, yeah.
And it really does look like a normal deck of cards, and even though it's not. Now, how Mark does this, his handling is very, very simple. Not that there's anything wrong with that. His handling is very simple. So you saw me in my presentation using tilts and using tilt moves and things like that. He's not doing any of that. He's kept it very, very simple. And he switches this deck in. I've always preferred, with Solid Deception, starting with the deck in your hand and going into it from this point. But what Mark does is he starts off with a regular deck of cards. He uses it to close his card set. So he starts with a regular deck of cards. He's done whatever else he wants to do. He has them pick a card, and in the action of having the card picked, he switches this deck in. Right, which is a super smart way of doing it. He's got all the misdirection in the world because they're signing their card. You could literally palm an elephant in at that point. And then he goes into a couple of really simple phases. He finishes off by having the deck go in between the spectator's hand, and he pulls a card out and says, "Is that your card? No. Is that your card? No." Oh, and the card's been put in the middle, and he goes, "Oh, looks like I've failed. I'm going to have to take the deck back in time." And then when they lift their hands up, they see that the cards have turned wooden and there's one card that's still printed, which is their card. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The download that comes with this is very, very good. It's a good download. It's about half an hour long. They absolutely explain everything. It's filmed in what looks like Mark's living room, and he goes through everything. The other thing to note that's very, very important is that there's a bonus routine on there that just uses one of these cards, because obviously with one card you can do like a couple of color changes. So for example, you could have, if this, you could be in a situation where you take just one card and have it go back in time, and you end up with a card that's gone back in time, and he's not using sleight of hand, but he's got a routine where it's just one single individual card, which again is a really nice idea. What do you think of this, Ryland? I really like it, but I want to know what you think.
Yeah, I really like it too.
I think that this would create a really big impact on a member of the audience. And it's a bit different, the thing with OmniDeck, especially over here in the UK, every working magician does the OmniDeck. And it's one of the reasons that many, many years ago, I brought out a trick called Quarantine, which was a bit like OmniDeck, but with a shrink-wrap deck. And it kind of combined OmniDeck with Airtight by Jay Sankey. I came up with that because I wanted something different to OmniDeck. And this is another example of something that's similar to OmniDeck. Worth noting as well, I mentioned the Hansen Chen trick that we reviewed a few weeks ago. You can actually combine with the Hansen Chen trick. So you can actually have a deck of cards that changes into a wooden block, and you can actually have the card change. So you can have one card that goes through, the deck turns into a wooden block, and then this card turns into a piece of wood as well. There's a lot of different options with this. I think, to be honest, beyond the tutorial, there's a lot of ideas that people can have with this. I think this is a really smart kit. And I think that what you're getting with it is just the bare bones. But I think that creative magicians, I think it's like £30 or something. So it's not that bad. Yeah. Considering that these cards have been...
You just deserve it as well.
Yeah, these cards have been specially made. You can see that they've been specially made. And they feel really quality. I don't think they're going to break. I mean, obviously, if you did an end pad on them and smashed them to bits, they would. But if you just keep them, you know, safe, I think they'll last a long time.
They spread really well.
They spread really well considering they're pieces of wood, right? Not so well on the table though. Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I really like this. If you're looking for a solid ending to your card set and you don't want to go down the route of doing Omni deck and you want something a little bit different and you want to do something that feels a bit more like a Phantom deck or a solid deck but with a back in time presentation, this is something absolutely you might want to go for. One thing, when I was performing that routine, and I haven't explored this, but one thing I was thinking of is you can combine it with a Gary Kurtz style plot, where if you saw my presentation where the card kept coming back to the top of the deck and it went from the pocket to the top of the deck, if this wasn't a 10 and instead was an 8, you could be in a situation where you show the top card of the deck and you say we're going to use an 8, and you have them sign it, and then you go into the whole thing where you're putting it down into the middle of the deck, and it keeps coming to the top and all of that stuff, and you do that a few times, and to introduce the element of time travel. But then you could get to this point where you say, well, you know what, I'm going to go further back in time. I'm going to go a minute back in time to before you even sign the card. And now you go a minute back in time and their signature's gone from the card. And then you could do a rubber dub vanish off the top of the deck. And you could say, you know what, we're going to go even further back in time to before the card was even picked. Which means that if we want to go forward in time again, we're going to end up in a situation where we're forward in time where the card was on the top of the deck. And then what happened after the card was on top of the deck? Well, it got signed. And you can go into all this sort of stuff. And I think that's another way to go with as well. And that's what I mean. My creativity, my creativity juices are really flowing with this. I think this is very cool. I'm going to give it 98%. 99%. I'm going to give it 99%. What are you giving it, buddy?
I'm going to give this 95%.
95% from the Kid Magician, Ryland Petty, and 99% from me. Thank you very much. I'm going crazy. Let's have a look at another card routine now. Something that has come out very recently, which is super visual. Let's have a look at that right now. So the next thing we're looking at is the Poker Test 2.0 by Pinnacle Spades and Erik Casey. There you go. And the packaging on this is really nice. I know you like packaging. That's really cool. And inside is your envelope, and your envelope has your trick. No. You're going to perform it in a second, so don't take it out. And what we have here is we have a packet trick that is super visual. I never saw the Poker Test 1. I've never seen anything like this before. But this reminds me that I love.
Why is it called Poker Test 2.0 then?
Well, Erik said on the tutorial, if you remember, that he brought out the original Poker Test, and this is like an updated handling of it, and this is the new version, the 2.0. If you remember, he sat down with Greg Wilson, and Greg Wilson improved a couple of aspects of it, and So basically, this is a reimagining of the original Poker Test, which I never saw. I must have missed that one. And it's a super visual opener. In fact, Erik is very, very insistent on this being an opener. And he talks several times in the tutorial about how this is an important opener. One thing I love about this is the tutorial was brilliant. I mean, this is a very simple trick, but the tutorial's about 25 minutes. Erik leaves no stone unturned. He explains exactly how to do it, exactly what you need to do. He explains everything and goes into it in great detail, including the psychology behind the routine, why it works the way it does. He goes through everything. He's a very good teacher of magic. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to note is you get 5 gimmick cards with this. You do have to add a royal flush in spades to this. So you do have to have a blue deck of cards around, which you can take out. No, blue deck. You need a blue deck in order to, because the gimmicks are red backed. So you need a blue deck that you're willing to sacrifice, so you can take a royal flush in spades out, and he teaches you how to put it all together.
You've got lots of blue decks.
I have lots of blue decks. I don't really use blue when I'm gigging. I use red, so blue is in abundance. Let's have a look at a performance of Ryland doing this, so you can see exactly how it looks. And then when Ryland's performed it, we'll talk about what we think.
I've got an envelope here, and I'm going to do an observation test on you, Mum.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what colour are the cards?
White.
And how many are there?
5, is it? About
Yeah.
5?
Yeah, 5. There's 5.
Okay.
And what colour's the back?
Blue.
Blue. Okay. So, what was the bottom card?
Well, they're blank, aren't they?
Well, you sure?
Well, I was sure, but now I'm not so sure.
Well, in fact, it's a royal flush and spades.
Very cool.
And even better, the cards are red backed.
What? They're crazy.
So that was a really good performance, right? Like, I really thought that was very, very good.
Now, because I'm gonna plan on doing this a lot, I have figured out a way to set this up.
Okay, so you just take it out and you just go for it straight away. Okay.
Ready.
Yeah, and what's really nice about this, and I should point one thing out, is obviously Ryland did it here, but it's great to do for a big table as well, because the camera's pointing down. Ryland was doing it here, but if you're working on a big table, you can actually come up here, and Erik talks about how you can actually show each card individually like this. So if you're working on big tables, you know, you can bring it up here. But if you're working at sort of a restaurant level and you're doing it like extreme close-up, you can bring it down here. So there's a lot of versatility behind this, isn't there? Which I really like. And Erik is right. This makes a great opener, like, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, it does.
Because one of the things that you need to do with an opener is you need to establish credibility.
Yes.
You need to say, hey, I'm really good. Let me show you why. And this kind of does that, because it's like, hey, I'm going to show you an observation test. I love that hook. I'm going to show you an observation test. How many cards? What colour are they? Fantastic. Now, one thing I should point out is, and Erik doesn't go through this, but and you didn't do this because your hands are too small, but I like the idea of using a side steel off the bottom of the packet to print it. I think that would be the way that I would do this. So you showed them front and back, didn't you? Yeah. And then you said, what colour was the back card? And what colour was the bottom card? I would probably turn it and say, now watch these cards. You see, if I just do this, I can print an ace. How's that? And if I snap my fingers, I can print the royal flush. And look, now it's red backed. So I would probably do that as a colour change. I think that would be quite cool. And if you did do it as a colour change, if you wanted to at the end, and I don't think you should do this, but if you wanted to at the end, you could actually have them go back to blue and have them go this way, isn't it? And have them go back to blank. You know, so you could go back. I don't think you should go back.
Back in time.
But I do like the idea of using the colour change to actually print the to print the cards. I think that would be a little bit better. But that's just my own personal thing. Now, one other thing about this is, I was going to say one other thing. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, examinability. So these cards can't be examined. However, that's why Erik suggests using this as an opener, because he does this whole observation test, and just when he's printed them and he's shown the blue backs, he goes, right, looks like you guys are going to be easy to fool, or whatever, you know, whatever line you want to use. He puts them away and he's immediately into another trick with a pack of cards or whatever. So I totally get where he's coming from, and I don't think the examinability thing is an issue with this at all. I love this. I think this is super visual. I think this is great. It's nice to see something that works really well on social media and Zoom shows, but also works really well live, up close and in person. I am going to give this 100%. I love this. What are you giving it?
I'm going to give this 100%.
You said that this is going to be... He carries a rucksack with him whenever he goes anywhere with tricks loaded into it.
I don't think this is trick of the week.
No?
But I still...
Is this going to go in your rucksack of magic?
Yes.
Along with you added not legacy. You added the one a couple of weeks ago, the off by one thing. That was one that was going to go in there, the prestige or whatever it was. Fantastic. Okay, so what did you say it was? 100%? Did you say?
Yeah, it's a prophecy.
The prophecy. Thank you. You added the prophecy, didn't you? So those are the two new things you've added to your repertoire. So you know, grab Ryland at Blackpool. He'll show you the prophecy. He'll show you the poker test. Those are his two new things.
Prophecy.
I know you love the prophecy. Anyway, it's not about the prophecy. Let's have a look. And I'm interested. You say this is not the trick of the week. I thought this would have been your favourite. I'm interested to see what your trick of the week is. Anyway, let's move on and look at the next trick. Okay, so next up we have HCC by N2G. HCC by N2G. And they've brought so many of these little sets out now. What's really nice is they use the same coins with all of them. So all of the coins kind of fit together, and you can, you know, they're creating their own range of gaffs, basically.
I really like this. And I'm having this even though
I
it's
know.
very, very hard.
You can have it, but first of all, can we talk about... Well, actually, what this is this is hopping halves. So this is a hopping half set. Now, if you don't know what hopping halves is, it's a classic routine. I believe I need to talk about what the gaffs are with this in order so you know what you get. I'm not going to give away the trick or anything like that, but I mean, this is basically a hopping half set. So you get a regular black coin, you get a regular red coin, you get a red coin with an expanded shell that fits over it. You get an expanded shell that fits over a black coin, and this black coin is actually a sun and moon coin. So it's another shell with a copper silver, which is actually a black and red. So when all this puts together, you have a hopping halves set with 2 regular coins. Now with that, you can do anything, and there's 5 routines on the project. I'll tell you the negative with the tutorial first of all, then I'll tell you the positive. The negative with the tutorial is it's shot in such a weird way. It's shot in what looks like a hotel room with a balcony overlooking a city. The camera is behind them, and there's just music playing over the top, and there's no... what's the word I'm looking for? There's no explanation of the moves that they're doing. Now, that's fine with some of the routines because the hopping halves routine is really easy. But for a more difficult routine that's quite difficult to do, and there are quite a few technically demanding routines on the project, yeah, I was struggling with it. I was like, hang on a minute, what are you doing there? You're doing this? Because basically all they do is they perform it to camera, then they set the camera up behind, and they just roll it again from behind, doing the moves. There's no explanation. There's no like, okay, put this in this situation, now you're going to do this here. And I think that really is a big weak point of the set.
Yes.
I know you were watching and you were like really struggling, weren't you? Stop fiddling. But let's talk about the main routine. In fact, I'm going to perform it. So I'm going to perform the main routine, which is the classic hopping half. So I'll show you that if you haven't seen it, using these coins. And then we'll talk about a couple of the other routines and wrap this particular review up. Ryland, I'm going to show you a trick with 2 Chinese coins. Okay. This is Chinese coin number 1. The colour is black and sort of brassy gold. And then we've got a red one as well. Yeah?
Red one.
Red one and a black one.
Okay.
Now, the idea is very simple. I'm going to take... So it's an observation test, basically. You've got to see how observant you are. I'm going to take the black one out, okay? And I'm going to put the black one in my pocket. What does that leave over here?
The red one.
And the black one. You're not paying attention. I mean, sometimes people miss this, which is absolutely fine. Let's try it again. Okay, look, I've got a black one and I've got a red one, yeah?
Okay.
This time I'll take the red one. So I'll put the red one in my pocket, yes?
Yes.
What does that leave there?
Knowing you, it's the black one.
No, I've shown you twice now. It's both of them. Look, I'll go really, really slowly so that you get it, okay?
Yeah.
Watch. Black one and a red one, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the red one. That's the black one. If I take the red one and put the red one in my pocket, what does that leave over here? I'll give you a clue. I want you to win. What does that leave over here? I really want you to win.
The red.
You sure?
Yeah.
I just showed you the black.
I'm going with red.
You're going with red?
No, but I'm going with both.
You're going with both?
Yeah.
I'm going to help you here, right? Because I want you to win.
Both.
I'm going to help you, right?
I'm going with both.
No, it's not. It's just the red one. It's just... sorry, it's just the black one.
I'm going with both.
Well, if you want both, I can snap my fingers. And if I snap my fingers, do you know what happens?
What?
I get both.
I know it.
Well, no, that's only because you asked for both. I'll do it one last time, look. Big finish. I'll take... should I take the black one this time? Yeah? I'll put the black one over here in my pocket one last time. What does that leave over here?
The black one.
Pardon?
Knowing you is black.
It's the black one?
Yes.
Not both?
Yes.
The black one?
Yes.
You know what? Just forget it. We'll do a different trick.
God.
So one thing that they do on there is they use a quiver, and they do something similar to what I did on my quiver project on YouTube, which is they have the 2 regular coins in one side of the quiver. They have these 2 coins in another side of the quiver. They bring these 2 coins out. They show the quiver empty. They do the hopping halves routine. The coins disappear and they're back in the quiver. That's nice. And then there's several routines that just use this 1 coin. I mean, let's be honest, there's so many routines you can use a sun and moon coin for anyway. But they've got some really nice ways of actually using this. You would need to set... All of them are technically demanding. Some of them are ridiculous. So some of them are using holdouts where the coin is there and it's very angle sensitive. But some of them are more commercial. And they've got routines where they've just got the shell and the coin in place, and you're like producing a coin here and then coming up here and producing another coin here and then coming up here and producing another coin there. So you're doing a really nice production of 3 coins, which looks really good. And then you're taking the coins and one at a time, you're turning them red. And when they're turning red, you then take them and make them disappear. And you talk about how they will only disappear when they become red. So if I take this one and shake it, this one turns red. And once it's red, you can make it disappear. So there's a whole bunch of different stuff that's going on there. And the last one, they just disappear. So there's a whole bunch of routines that you can do beyond just the hopping halves, which is nice. But you're going to struggle to learn them if you've got no skill with coins, because the explanations aren't very good, to be perfectly honest. You want this set, don't you? Because, I mean, you want to learn the hopping halves routine. You've never done hopping halves before, have you?
No.
What do you think of it, right? Because I am going to teach you
I think
hopping
it's
halves.
very good.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, are you going to do it?
Yeah.
So what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give this 100%.
100%.
Yes.
I think you should give this 100%. I think this is really good. I'm going to give it 85%, purely because, not because the quality of the coins is great. The quality of the actual performances on the routine, on the thing is great.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I really like it. I mean, I've been doing coin routines like this for years, and I think these coins are awesome. I'd happily use them. And I love the fact that they link up with some of the other sets that N2G use. My issue with this is that the explanations leave a lot to be desired. That's not a thing that's an issue for you, because you know that I'll teach you any routines that you want to know, so you don't have to worry too much about the tutorial, but it's something that everybody else should be aware of. So 85% from me. What did you say, 100%?
Yes.
100% from Ryland, 85% from me. If you're a coin worker, these things are beautiful.
Not trick of the week.
Not trick of the week?
Not trick
I'm letting
of the
him
week.
decide trick of the week this week. I'm very interested to see what trick of the week is. Apparently it's not this one, even though this is the second trick that Ryland has given 100% to. Let's have a look at another routine.
And the next trick we have is Mirrorize by Lauren.
Okay, yeah,
I think
Mirrorize.
it's Lauren.
You know what? When I watched the tutorial for this, I was really surprised. And the reason I was really surprised...
It fooled me.
I know
No, actually, no, it didn't.
Yes, it did. Yes,
No, it fooled
did.
me first, but then I was like, that's how it was. Before you told me, remember I said, I think I got it now, and then I told you in like that.
It fooled you for about 15 minutes until you
Yes.
really thought about it. And I'll tell you right now, I used to do this years and years and years ago. This is as old as the hills. Like, I did this when I was 18 and I was first getting into magic.
You said it fooled you when you were 15 years.
Yeah,
15 years
not when I
ago?
was 15,
15
but
years ago.
yeah, it fooled me. Look, I've been doing this since I first got into magic. And I learned
And
this
then
out.
the new one came out, so
Yeah.
it's been
Well,
updated.
I learned this out of an old book, a really old
It's
book.
now been updated.
Yes, it has been updated. You can get this in poker size or tarot size. They make them out of tarot cards, I believe, and they also make them out of poker size cards. We've got poker size cards here.
It says here, poker size.
It does say poker size. Now, if you don't know what this is, I'm going to get Ryland to do a performance of this.
Okay.
If you're okay with that,
Yes,
you can do a performance, and after the performance, we'll talk a little bit about it. As I say, I used to do this years ago with normal playing cards, and I think it was blank cards was the kicker at the end. They've changed this to mirror cards. The technique is pretty much the same, but the addition of the mirrors really does add something, in my opinion. But let's have a look at it first of all. Ryland, let's do a full performance.
You know on stage you've got those people who use the big boxes, the illusionists.
Yeah.
They sometimes use the saying smoke and mirrors, like there's mirrors inside the boxes.
Yeah. They do. Yeah.
But close-up people, they use sleight of hand.
Yeah. And like playing cards.
And they use cards.
Yes.
Yeah? So we've got 10 cards here, and I'm going to split it in half. I want you to have 5. There's your 5. You put it under the table face down, and I'll put mine behind my back.
Okay.
I want to mix them up.
Mix them up.
Yeah.
Okay. I've mixed mine up.
Okay. I want you to take any one card
Okay.
out from behind the deck.
Out
No,
from...
out from the little packet.
Okay, take any card out. Okay, I've took one out.
Keep it down and put it on the table.
Have you done the same, have you?
Yes.
Okay.
I've done the same.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to take my card and turn it face up under the table.
Face up under the table.
Yes, and put it in the little packet face up.
Okay. What about mine?
I'll do the same.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Yep, I've done that.
Okay. So I want you to bring your packet out from the table.
Okay.
Okay. So let's recap.
All right.
You shuffled.
I did.
You picked. You and me picked any card. We swapped cards. Put it face up anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
My card was the Queen of Spades. And let's see what your card was. Queen of Spades as well.
Wow, what a coincidence. I think I know how it works, though.
How do you think it works?
They're all Queen of Spades.
You think they're all Queen of Spades?
Yes.
I remember the Smoke and Mirrors saying,
Yeah.
it works by mirrors.
Very, very cool, buddy. Very cool. Very cool. So that was a really great performance, right? I mean, that was really good. And this is a self-working trick. So you could literally do this. I taught you this, didn't I? I performed this for you. I watched the trailer, the tutorial without Ryland. And I kind of knew what I was doing because I was like, oh my gosh, it's this trick. And I showed it to you, fooled him completely until he thought about it for 15 minutes. But then when I explained it to you, you got it down almost instantly, didn't you? Like, okay, nobody cares about the packaging. Right.
Yes, they do.
Look, this, it's a very commercial trick as well in terms of if you're sitting down, you can get them to put the cards underneath the table. If you're standing up, you can get them to put the cards behind their back. And it's a great intro if you're doing kind of more mental magic. So if you're kind of going into a mental magic thing, it's a great intro. It comes in a little envelope, so you can just take that envelope, put it into your pocket, take the cards out when you want it, and you're ready to go. And the cards look kind of weird, they're kind of mystical.
And it's basically a 2-second setup.
It's it's an instant reset, and that's
but it's not.
It is
Proper
when
instant reset.
yes,
It's
it
not. You gotta get the cards and then put them. To the
yeah, but look, you're left in this situation. You're left here like this to reset it.
You're left with it like that.
Yeah.
Like
So
that.
all you have to do, come back
so
around.
It's not a proper instant reset. You just gotta square all the cards.
You just got to square the cards up and put them away. Yeah, everything's examinable.
So it's not an instant reset.
We're arguing over semantics here, right? It's pretty much an instant reset. It's fully examinable, so you can do it anytime, anywhere, and have them examine them with a fine tooth comb. And as I say, it makes a nice opener and a nice introduction to other mental magic tricks. So yeah, I absolutely love this. Like, I love this. I'm going to give this 95%. I think this is really good. What are you giving it? I know you said this is going to go in your bag of tricks as well.
Yeah, but not trick of the week.
Oh, it's not. Oh, well, that means I know what trick of the week is. Okay.
Yeah, but they don't.
No, they don't. 95% for me. What are you giving it?
100.
100%. It's very good. If you haven't seen it before, you might have watched that performance and gone, hang on, I remember that, because I learnt it out of a very old book a very long time ago. But trust me,
What
the
book
mirrors...
was it?
I can't remember. Very old. But trust me, the mirrors really add something to this routine. Like, seriously.
Was it mirrors when you read it out the book?
No, it wasn't. It was just like number cards and picture cards. So you did the same thing.
You got the only picture
but you ended up with the only picture card each.
It all works by mirrors. Like smoke mirrors.
Exactly. The mirrors really add something. So yeah, it's a really good trick. It's a great little packet trick to put in your pocket. And there's nothing else to say about it. It's highly recommended.
The final trick is called iToon.
Yeah, and it's an app based on Dan Harlan's spectacular, well-known Cardtoon.
And there's also a deck that's like
Well, no. Dan Harlan bought out a deck of cards called Cardtoon, which I was using in virtual shows all over lockdown.
You just got one for me, didn't you?
Well, I just went to Alakazam and came back with a Fartoon deck for you because I know you like farting and you like magic, so I thought
you
it
got
would be
a
perfect.
Cartoon, a Fartoon, and a iToon.
Well, first of all, Dan came out with Cardtoon, then he came out with Cardtoon 2, then he came out with Fartoon. Then he fooled Penn and Teller with a different version, which I think he bought out again with Penguin, possibly a little bit after that. So this has been around for a long time. Jamie Raven went on Britain's Got Talent and did this trick in his audition and captured the hearts of the nation and went through to eventually getting through to the final of Big GT. So it's a trick that's been around for a long time. What we have here is an app version of the trick. So it allows you to do the trick with a regular deck of cards and an app, and literally all you have to do is take a card or take your card box. It can be a card like a joker, or it can be your card box. Draw a black line around one of the circles on the back of the bicycle design, and it's like augmented reality. It works immediately. There's two different versions of this. You've got the interactive version and the classic version. The classic version is more like the classic cartoon that you know from the Dan Harlan trick. And by the way, they've got Dan's permission to do this.
You got this one that's in
And the interactive version is new, and it's kind of combining the cartoon premise with.
Yeah, is that the one with the theatre?
No, that's the classic version, which we're going to do a performance of in a minute.
Oh, and the other one is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't, because we're going to explain it now. The interactive version is more. It's combining cartoon with card to phone. If you know the card to phone app, where the folded up card goes inside the phone, this combines cartoon with card to phone. I'm going to do a performance of it in a minute. The thing that you need to understand with this is there's two ways to do the interactive version. You can either force a card, or you can have a card picked and signed, and then you can control it and use a Mercury card fold, as in the classic card to phone. Now, I'm going to perform it to Ryland, and how I'm going to do it is I'm just going to do a forced card version, and I'm going to use Equivoke to force the card.
You did a dimension thing.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to, but hang on a minute, I'm going to use, because I need them to understand this, because there's lots of different options with this. I'm going to use Equivoke to force the card, because I like the idea of bringing a deck of cards out, not even opening the deck, having them apparently pick a card in their mind, and then pulling it out. If you don't like using Equivoke to Equivoke down to one card, you can literally do this by having a card picked and having a pre-folded card, forcing a card and going into the same thing, or you can do it with a signed card and a Mercury card fold. Let's have a look at that interactive version right now. Okay, right, I've got my phone and I've switched the camera on, yeah?
Yeah.
I've also got a deck of cards, and I've got a little hole in the deck of cards. I've drawn a little sort of a circle, yeah?
Yeah.
If I told you inside this deck of cards there's a little magician that lives there, would you believe me?
No.
I'm going to prove it to you, and we're not even going to use the cards because that's the magician's home. We're going to use an imaginary deck of cards. I want you to imagine I've got an imaginary deck of playing cards, and I want you to, in your imagination, remove either the numbers or the picture cards.
I have removed the numbers.
Fantastic. So that leaves us with the picture cards. So I want you to imagine that you're left with all the picture cards, and you're going to hand me either the male or the female picture cards. What do you want to hand me?
I've handed you the males.
Okay, so that leaves you with the females, yes?
Yes.
And this is all your choice. We've still got two choices to make. I want you to throw either the red queens or the black queens onto the table. What have you thrown?
The black queens.
Okay, so that leaves you with the red queens.
Yes.
One final decision. What I want you to do is pass me either the hearts or the diamond.
The diamond.
Fantastic. So what has that left you with?
The Queen of Hearts.
And that's your choice, yes?
Yes.
If I told you my little magician knew that, would you believe me?
No.
Would you like me to prove
Don't
it to
even
you?
believe there's a magician in
Well,
there.
the only way you can see him is if you, because he lives in a magical other dimension. You know, like Spider-Man. There's lots of different dimensions and stuff, and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Well, he lives in another dimension, and the only way you can see that other dimension is by looking through my camera. So have a look at this. If I just do this, there he is. Look, there he is. Hello, his name's Bob. Say hi, Bob.
Hi.
Hey, Bob. Do you like his hat?
Yeah.
He uses it to do magic. You see, if he just reaches into his hat, he's going to find. No, that's not it. That's not it. Nope, not that one either. Oh, Bob, come on, you're embarrassing me, Bob. Bob, not a rabbit, Bob. We want the card. Okay, I think he's got the card. He's got the card. He has the card. Just give it me. Okay, say bye, Bob.
Bye.
Okay, you go home. Right, he's given me a card here, right? I really hope. Let me just take it out. There we go. What was the card that you named again?
I named the Queen of Hearts.
You named the Queen of Hearts. I think we should give Bob a big, huge, massive round of applause.
Good job, Bob.
Good job,
Good
Bob.
job. Fist bump. I like that presentation you used when you said he lives in a different dimension and you can only see him through a camera. Because if they see him through the camera and you don't see him on the deck, they're gonna think, well,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Exactly, and I think that it's even more magical that if they're looking through the phone and they're seeing this going on, and they look at the deck and they're not seeing anything. I think it's a really magical moment, and I love the fact that it'll work on any bicycle, any red back bicycle back design. So you know you can use it. You can have a joker. They suggest using a joker and drawing a line around the circle on the back of a joker. I like the idea of using a bicycle elite deck and just drawing on the back of the card box, I think that makes it even stronger, because you don't even have to take the cards out of the box. I also like the idea of using a signed card. You'd need a pretty good Mercury card fold in order to do that. Or you can use something like John Allen's Perfect Score and have it pre-scored, so that when you do the Mercury card fold, it looks awesome. Yeah. Now, the other way of doing this is the classic version, which is a little bit like the deck, which is your favourite version, isn't it? And you're going to perform that version. Your favourite version is the version when he's in the theatre and he concentrates. Which is also the one where he goes farting. Yes, but he doesn't fart on the app.
He doesn't fart on the app.
Yeah. Now, the classic version, again, comes in two different versions. The first version is a forced card, and the second version is a free choice using a quite clever and fairly well-known input method. So you're going to do this version, aren't you? You're going to do the classic version. Yeah. It's very different. It's still an appearance of the stickman, and he's still animated on the back of the card. But in this case, he just thinks of the card and it just appears. So let's have a look at that right now, okay? So we'll get Ryland to do a performance of that.
You know your friend Bob?
The one that lives in another dimension in my pack of cards?
Yes.
Yes, I know Bob.
You can only see him through the phone.
Yes.
Camera thing.
You're not telling me you've taught him another trick?
I have taught him another trick.
You've taught Bob another trick?
Yes.
When did you and Bob stop talking?
We talked through the phone.
He talked through the phone. Okay, fair enough.
I want you to name a card.
What, just name one?
Yes, name one.
You're not going to use Equivoke?
No.
Wow, you want me to just name a card?
Any card.
Any card. I will name position number 40 in the moniker. Testing you.
Four of spades.
Yes, the four of spades.
You've gone for the four of spades.
Yes, I have.
Okay, I'm just going to put your code in.
Hang on a minute, you know my code to my phone as well?
Yes, obviously.
What do you mean, obviously? You're 9.
Look, you know Bob?
Yes?
I'm going to get Bob over here. Look.
Here, hold this way so everyone can see.
He's got his own little theatre.
How did he get his own little theatre?
I made him a theatre. Look at him, he's concentrating.
No way. That's the four of spades.
Yep. And look at him posing.
Well, he is a poser. Good job, Bob. So that, in the way that Ryland did that there, he just had me name a card, and the card is named, and when the card is named, he just goes in, inputs the particular card, and goes into the classic version with the animation, and the card appears on the card box, which is absolutely fine. You obviously don't need to have them name the card. You can have them write it down on a piece of paper and use a Peak Wallet and get that information, and then bring out your phone. You could have the card picked, free choice of card, control it to the bottom. As you put the cards away, you could get a glimpse or a peek of the card. Okay. So you can have them have a completely free choice without actually saying the card out loud. I know some magicians I've spoken to in the past, when you use an app, they don't like the spectators name the card out loud in case people think that there's like some sort of voice control or something used in it. So there are other options with that. So the point that we're trying to make is there's lots of different ways of using this app. You can use the interactive version.
I think I've got a little another thing that you might, you could create with this.
Go on.
You can make another version called HCC where they go dun 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 king of hearts.
Well, I'm sure the creator of the app is going to be listening for that, and hopefully they will put that into production immediately. The video instructions that come with this are great. They're built into the app, so you click on video instructions, they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. It's great. I absolutely love this. As soon as I learnt it, I was going out to a gig that night, wasn't I? And I went and did this. I don't normally do that. I don't normally go and do something at a gig straight away, but I did this straight away at a gig, and it got an insane reaction. People absolutely loved it. They loved the animation on the card box. So yeah, this is a real winner for me. Is this your trick of the week?
Yes.
I'd agree with this. I think this is super commercial. Talk about a great app, a great everyday carry. Well, it's not an everyday carry actually, because you need a deck of cards with you. But if you just had a joker, tell you what you could do. You could just have a joker folded up, and you've got a circle drawn on that particular joker, that's in your wallet. If you've just got a folded up joker in your wallet, what you could do is when somebody wants to see a trick, you could do the version that you did, where you say, okay, I've got this card here, do you want to open it up? Do you see the circle? Yeah, I've got a little friend of mine that lives inside that card. I know that sounds ridiculous, but he's also a magician. Name a card. Oh, okay, 4 of spades. Well, you can't see him unless you use my phone. Let's just unlock the phone, and you can do what Ryland did, but you wouldn't need a deck of cards. You just needed a folded up joker, and you'd be good to go. So I'm going to give this 105%. I think this is brilliant. What are you giving it?
119%.
119% from Ryland. It's 105% from me. It's only available for Apple users. If you're an Android user, I'm afraid it's not available for you. At least I don't think so, but feel free to check. But yeah, it's you can download it directly from the App Store. There it is. It's called iToon. It's highly recommended.
That's a review show in the back. That's another review show in the bag. That's another review show.
How did this whole thing start off? No, we're never doing 4. No. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for checking out the review show. 5 items this week. And I'm super excited because this time next week, Ryland, we will be in Blackpool. Are you super excited?
Yes.
I'm super excited. Blackpool is amazing. It's your first Blackpool. You've never been before.
Yep.
And I think we can officially announce this because
first time I'm on the garden show.
yeah, and we can officially announce it, right? Because you're on the app, but Ryland is going to be on the gala show.
Even though it's my first time at Blackpool, I'm
First
already
time-
on the garden show.
You're on the gala show, right?
He's never been on the garden show.
I'm 45, never been on the
He
gala
started
show.
at 18.
Yeah, he's on 9, just turned 9. He's on the gala show. Saturday night, both shows. And it had nothing to do with me. They just wanted Ryland Petty on the gala show. What can people expect, Ryan? Seriously, what can people expect?
Well,
Don't give away the whole act, but
Yeah,
what
but
can people expect?
You know I like cube stuff.
You do like cube stuff, yes. Is it going to involve Rubik's Cubes?
Yes.
Is it gonna be-
A lot of Rubik's Cube.
A lot of Rubik's Cubes. More than one.
Yes.
Okay, and a lot of people see you doing magic on the review show. Is it going
But
to be...
they've never seen me do it in front of us on a stage.
No, they've never seen you perform on stage. What's the Ryland on stage like compared to the Ryland that does the review show? Is there a difference or is it the same Ryland?
More serious.
More serious. Show me your Ryland on stage look. Show me your Ryland on stage. Oh, this show's going to be great. Go on. Deliver your opening line so that people get a sneak peek. What's the opening line? They walk out on stage. You've just been compared on by the compare. Right. Now welcome on stage, Ryland Petty. What's the first line? Tell me.
Hi, my name's Ryland. What's your name?
Oh, you're going straight into it, are you? You're going, what's your name? Right, okay, well, I don't know what's coming up, but I can't wait to watch this in the gala show. So if you're excited about seeing Ryland at the gala show, let us know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the review show, let us know in the comments down below. If you want to follow him... Serious face. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he is Ryland the Kid Magician on Instagram. He's also Ryland the Kid Magician on YouTube. Absolutely. You're putting some amazing videos up at the moment, right? You just did David Roth's razor coin the other day, didn't you? Which is not an easy trick to do. So, guys, make sure you follow Ryland on Instagram and YouTube. Make sure you follow me. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. We will be back next Wednesday at 5 o'clock with another review show. But thank you once again for joining us. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
We'll see you again. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.